So in today's video, what I really just feel called to share is exactly what you're going through, exactly what you're feeling right now, the deep, heavy emotions, the stuckness, the confusion, the just not wanting to be in this anymore, the not wanting to be anymore. If that's what's coming up for you, it's okay. It's a part of this process, this unfolding, healing, awakening, exploring the depths of being a human, right? And you probably don't have a choice. Like if you're here and you're feeling this, then I really just want you to know that what you're feeling right now is allowed. You don't need to get rid of it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to release it. It's okay for you to experience this fully, to be with it, to be in the depths of it. And it doesn't mean that it feels good. It really, I know, right? Trust me. I've been there multiple times, and I just want to share this with you for you to know that you will get through it. It will be okay in the end. You can drop into these depths and have these things surface, and it might stick around for a while, but you're allowed to feel it fully. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not broken. You are not fucked up. You are not, right? As I said, I've been there multiple times, and I think it's helpful for me to point that out because I had some reflections back recently from people that often speak from this space, but these people said it was helpful when I shared just how much I've been in these spaces myself in my own journey. And I often don't feel it's important to speak about what I've experienced, because what feels important is to share this allowing, this space, this transmission with you, for you to know that it's okay to be you. That's, for me, that's what comes out of all the hell realms that I've been in is just this deepening compassion for anybody else who ever experiences the same thing. That's what I come out of it. It's just this opening of the heart that just wants to just tell everybody else that it's okay if you're in those spaces yourself. But you know, it can be helpful to hear from others that have been there as well. So I guess that's maybe why it might be worthwhile to talk about. And yeah, I've been there, right? The deepest, darkest places of loneliness that you can imagine. Maybe there's more, who knows? It often, I can't say for sure what's the darkest loneliness you can imagine, but I've been in these spaces multiple times. And as the journey unfolds, you tend to explore it at a deeper level. Right? Not to scare you that things are going to continuously get worse, because as the journey unfolds, there's also a deeper trust, and your capacity increases, and life always meets you exactly where you're at. It might not always feel like it, right? It really might not always feel like it. It might feel sometimes, and a lot of the time, that life has completely overwhelmed you, that it has abandoned you, that it has given you way more than you can ever handle. But it's not the case. Right? It can feel like that. I completely understand. And as I said, it's authentic to feel that. I've been in these spaces where I've just thrown up my arms, come down on my knees, and just said, I can't do this anymore. This is beyond me. And these are powerful spaces to come to, because that's where true surrender happens. That's where a true letting go happens, is in the space where you're like, this is beyond me. I don't even have the capacity to feel this, right? In these moments where you're overwhelmed with, it could be anything: sadness, loneliness, hopelessness, helplessness, fear, confusion, stuckness, desperation, depression, grief, whatever it is, right? You name it, it's allowed, it's okay. And it can feel overwhelming. Overwhelm is another one, just feeling completely overwhelmed. It's okay. You can feel that. We can all feel it. We're all allowed to feel these things. All of it, truly, all of it is completely allowed. It's completely okay. There's nothing wrong. with you for feeling that, and it's okay to hate it. It's really okay to feel the authentic, like, truth of just how uncomfortable it can be. It's okay, right? There's one thing to say it's all allowed and it's all okay, and I really want to transmit that. And that means that the not wanting is also allowed, right? The resistance energy is fine. It's innocent as well. Resistance is innocent. Hatred is innocent. The real, again, not wanting to experience it, to fight the process, to fight life, to fight your emotions, to fight your sensations, to fight your symptoms. If it's playing out as physical symptoms for you, it's okay, right? I've often shared this message of allowing and accepting and not resisting as the key, but the mind can turn that into a new thing that it can get stuck in, that I'm not allowed to feel resistance. But that's not the case, right? So it's tricky to use words to explain this. So, but you are allowed to feel resistance. You're allowed to feel resistance. Resistance is innocent. And yeah, it can feel like so much sometimes. It can feel so never ending. It can feel so overwhelming. It can feel like, how do I keep going with all of this? Is there ever light at the end of the tunnel? Yes, there is, for sure. But this is part of it, right? And not only is it part of it, it is such an important part of it, because what I can just share from my own journey is there's so much depth that opens up in these spaces, right? Again, this is where this is the only reason I can transmit from the space of it's all allowed. This compassion that I have for anybody going through this comes from going into it fully, dying into it, letting it overtake me, the emotion, letting the, whatever it is, the fear, like truly surrendering to fear of like, if it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me, right? Loneliness, if it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me, like surrender to it. And again, I know it doesn't feel good, right? And it could be vulnerability, just whatever it is. It might not feel good in the moment, but what I want to share as well is there's something in the contrast of these deep experiences, which is so powerful, that really brings about how to describe it, right? Like the opening of the heart, like allowing the love to flow through you more, is you just suddenly start to have so much more compassion for everyone and everything, anybody that's done anything horrible even. You just understand why people do the things they do, because it's out of the fear of feeling these things, or the kind of trying to escape, or just like how intense this human experience can be for everybody. And there's so much, for me, there's just so much love in the dark nights, right? And I know the mind might hate to hear that, right? I hear that back often, right? When someone's going through something very heavy and they're talking to me about it, and at some point I might reflect back to them that I know it doesn't feel like that. I know it feels horrible. I know it feels brutal, and that's true as well. Like when I'm saying it's beautiful, that doesn't mean that it negates the fact that it can be really fucking brutal and really intense and really so much. That's not negated. I'm not saying that's not the case, but I want to speak from the perspective of the beauty in it as well. And again, I know the mind might not like to hear this, and that's okay. But there is a real beauty in it, in what comes through these deepenings, these surrenderings, where you're being surrendered by your experience. And there's a real opening up, and there's a real letting go and a clearing out. Also, like when you die into these spaces, there's like less that you're running from. That's why there's like a deepening and a deeper intimacy. This is what it's like. There's a deeper intimacy with simple experiences with life as well, because you're not running from something anymore. You're not trying to not feel something out of the fear of being overwhelmed by it. And yeah, it's just really exploring the depths of the human experience and seeing that the darkest spaces sometimes hold the most powerful openings. Many a times for myself, the biggest moments of peace have come from truly fucking letting go, when I'm just like, I cannot do this anymore. And it doesn't mean immediate peace. Again, like it plays out however it plays out. Like, just because once, like for me as well, there's been times when it was just like complete letting go, and then like just a real expansive opening from that, just like a lightness of like, oh my fucking God, like there was nothing wrong with that experience, but just so much conditioning, so much resistance, so much beliefs around, I can't feel this, I'm not allowed to feel this is too much, all of that, which makes it tricky. And then sometimes it might be a slower process, right? Like a more granular exploring of the emotion. And at a deep level, we're always doing this on purpose, or like I can see it in my own journey that at a deep level, something in me really wants that, to explore the depths of suffering, really understand the mechanics of suffering, the emotions that make us feel like we're suffering. And I can only understand that through going through it myself in different ways. And I'm not saying I'm consciously choosing it in the moment, but I just see it from a bigger perspective as well, is that some part of me, you could call it my soul or whatever, and I know some people might not resonate with those terms, and some people will have no problem with those terms. But yeah, at the deepest level, my soul chose to experience life in such a deep way to be able to understand, right, the depths of the human experience and what everyone goes through and what we can all go through. So it might be the same for you, right? You might have a massive heart, and part of that is being willing to feel things that might scare the mind. So anyways, I don't want to just make this all about me, but maybe that's a helpful perspective for you to look at things from, is that when you're processing these things, you're not only doing it for yourself. I suppose that's what I want to say. And that's what's kind of an understanding I came to in myself at some point in this journey, that I was like, it really stops being about you personally. And it's okay. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with thinking about yourself in personal terms, but it stops being about only about you, I suppose. And it's really about like, this is what's happening, right? This is where the causes and conditions of life have brought me to meet this fully, to integrate this, to open up, to understand it, to get to know it, for it to teach me whatever it wants to teach me, and to understand the energy form, the emotion. Emotions are energy forms, and you'll often come back to an emotion to really get to understand it at a deeper level. That's what it's been in my journey. It's like the later stages of this awakening were a lot about going back into experience, not consciously, but just happening through how it unfolds, right? It's like meeting certain experiences again and just seeing like experiencing at a deeper level, and almost from the perspective of starting to see things from the perspective of the emotion itself. That, wow, imagine what it feels like to be told you're not allowed to be felt, or the whole of human consciousness just running from you. And again, like, some things are afraid of love themselves. Like I spoke about this before, but like fear itself is afraid of love. The energy of fear is afraid of love. So it's afraid of itself, really. I think that's more key. Fear is afraid of itself. So it projects out this like this fear energy into the consciousness of whoever experiences it. But all it wants actually at the deepest level is to be loved and accepted and seen for who and what it is. And it's like that with everything: loneliness, hatred, disgust, regret. It's interesting to see like all these different things that we can learn to resist as well. Like that's been an interesting part of this for me as well, is to see like the emotions that I haven't thought of that we resist, like regret. And there was something that came up with somebody in a session. What was it? It was the feeling of being pathetic. That was an interesting one. So all of these emotions, feeling pathetic, feeling, and there's core emotions like shame and fear and loneliness and all of that. But anyways, instead of going into a whole long spiel about all of this, I just want you to know that it's okay. You're allowed to feel it. And everything is allowed to be what it is. The emotions are allowed to be what they are, and you're allowed to release them as well. But I don't want you to get stuck on the idea of releasing, right? I want you to know that you can feel it and really just be with it. And that's okay. Especially when things are very overwhelming. I don't think it's helpful to focus too much on releasing, but you can say things like, I'm truly allowed to feel this, whatever it is, right? If it's fear, if it's loneliness, if it's whatever, I don't know what it is. I'm truly allowed to feel this. I'm truly allowed to express this, and I'm allowed to release this, right? So it can be helpful. Again, releasing is not something you have to force mentally, but the reason it can be helpful to say, I'm allowed to release this and to play with that is we can also kind of like start to form identities out of certain emotions if we've been holding on to them for so long. And holding on and pushing away is kind of the same thing, funnily enough. Like if you're really avoiding something, you're also holding on to it at the same time. That's why we say allowed to release. But don't think of it as like, oh, I'm going to allow this so it will go away. And I know it sounds confusing probably, but basically you're allowed to let it go as well. You are allowed to release it. And again, you don't have to force anything to release, but you can say, I'm allowed to release this. And you can also fucking die into it. You can completely surrender into it. And you're allowed to release that as well. It's not actually a paradox. Or maybe it is a paradox, but there's actually no contradiction. To the mind, it sounds like it's contradicting itself. You don't need to get rid of anything. Everything's allowed. But you're also allowed to release things, right? You're allowed to let go of things. You're allowed to let go of anything that's not serving you anymore. And you're allowed to feel whatever is here fully. And you don't need to get rid of it, but you're allowed to release. So I hope that makes sense in the sense of like the nuance is that you are allowed to let go and you are allowed to release, but you don't need to force anything to be gotten rid of. In a sense, you want to understand it, almost see it as like you're setting the emotion free, but you've gotten to know it, you've gotten to understand it, you've gotten to see, and this is really key. This is what feels like the most powerful approach to me, is you've gotten to see things from the perspective of the emotion, right? This is kind of how I work with the releasing and allowing nowadays. It's like, let's say fear or shame or guilt or anything is coming up for somebody. It's like, I see you, shame. I see you, guilt. I see you, fear. And I understand you're trying to protect me. You're a coping mechanism. You're a boundary emotion. You're something that wants to look after me. You're an emotion that's in my life because you have a role. You feel like you have a role to play. You want to keep me safe. You want to protect me from something, from being seen. If it's like shame, right? Shame is like, I'm not allowed to be seen. I don't want to be seen. Understanding it from the perspective of the emotion is so powerful. And then you're like, and I understand you, but I let you go now. I let you free. So it's not like, fuck you, hate you, get the fuck out of my experience. I need to get rid of that to feel better. It's like, no, I understand you. I see things from your perspective. And then at the same time, you're allowed to be here, but you're also allowed to be free. It's like, there's really something in setting the emotion free. It's like the energy is allowed to go and become something else now. It's like a gift you're giving to. It's like, you can be here, but also you can go. It's like fear, like let's use fear for an example. It's like fear, I understand you, man. I understand you. You're innocent. And thank you for what you've been trying to do. But I'm allowed to let you go as well now. You don't have to be beholden to fear. You're allowed to let it go. You're allowed to say, I don't need to hold on to you. Thank you, and I let you go now. You're free. Go explore the universe, fear. Go evolve. Because it's an energy. Everything is an energy, right? And energy can evolve. That's how we're here. We're just an evolved form of energy. So anything in conscious experience can be released and it can go and evolve to become something else. So it's the same with emotions. And I know this might sound crazy to some people, but so be it. So think of it in that terms as well. You're releasing it to go and become what it wants to be. Anything, fear, shame, guilt, blah, 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 blah. Anything that comes up. Thank you. And I let you go now. And you're free to let it go. And it's free to go on. So it doesn't need to stay and kind of control your life. But also you don't need to, that's key. Like these emotions don't need to control your life. But that's like the allowing is like really learning to not fight it. And then the releasing is like, and also I'm allowed to not have to hold on to that. Again, let it control my life. So I think that's all. I hope that's helpful. I'm sure it will be, maybe not to some, who knows. It's always possible. But yeah, and maybe the mind doesn't like bits of this, but that's okay too, because that's innocent. Whatever gets triggered is innocent as well. So sending you love, sending you compassion, and just so that you know that it's okay, you can do this, you can let go, you can open up, you can really, you can let go of things that you don't need anymore. You can feel everything, you can understand everything, and it's all okay. You are love, everything is love. You are love, and that which you don't want to feel is love as well, and that which is trying to help you release it is also love, and me sharing this video to try to help you is also love, and the videos that have helped me is also love. It's all love, right? And that which you don't like is also love. That's the realization that you start to come to, is like, it's all fucking innocent, it's all love, it's all truth, it's all me. It's all the thing that I am is the same as everything else. And it's just different forms and different versions, and some are more evolved and like, you could say like higher levels of consciousness, and some are so-called lower levels of consciousness, but it's all the same thing as well. It's all love. It's all infinity expressing in unique ways. And this whole thing's a fucking play. But a very like, wow, how realistic is it? And that's what's cool, right? If you think you're the universal infinite blob from which everything springs, like fucking cool, man. Like we've made like such a dense, contrasted experience that love can feel so not like love sometimes, and we can so get caught up in feeling separate and alone. Like it's so impressive. Like the creative force of the universe to be able to create this experience of being a human who suffers and struggles. It's like actually mind-blowing. It's incredible. And that's the other perspective, right? So dark nights and all are part of the process. But I always love to come back to the perspective of the awe of everything, of the creation itself, right? Of this beingness itself, right? Like, man, of suffering itself. Like when I had like my first awakening or shift in seeing that, like, oh my God, suffering is not real, and that. It might sound like a bypass, but that was the very strong realization. It's like this whole story that I was getting stuck in, that I'm suffering, it's not real. And then after that, I went into like some deep dark nights years later. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, this really feels like suffering though. And that's fine. It's authentic. But what I wanted to say was like, there was this, well, I actually can't remember what I wanted to say now. It's gone. It's just gone. Reality reshuffled the deck. This is what it was. It wasn't the marveling. What I marveled at wasn't the like, wow, I am everything. I am the infinite. I am the universe. This is not what happened. What I marveled at was, I was like, how the fuck did I ever believe I am a separate individual that's alone against the rest of the universe, left out and kind of having to fight against life and make life work and all of that. I was like, this magic trick is fucking insane, that the universe itself has created a way to forget itself, and really believe that, like really forget that we are the universe. We spring from the infinite source that creates everything, right? The moment that creates everything. It's like, how the fuck is it possible to forget that? And yet it is, seemingly. And it's also possible to remember that and forget the forgetting, like to let go of the forgetting. And that's what awakening is, waking up from the dream of believing that you are a part. But yeah, just like what stood out for me was just like, what's amazing isn't the fact that we were everything, and everything is everything, and this is the whole universe expressing itself in this moment. The universe is talking and the universe is listening, and it's just one moment happening. What was a marvel for me was like suffering. I was like, what the fuck? How does it feel so real? It's incredible, actually. It's like putting on a VR headset, right? And you forget you're wearing, and obviously you've probably heard this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But this kind of analogy before, you might have heard it before, like putting on a VR headset and then it's so immersive, it's so realistic that you forget you're wearing a VR headset and you think you're the character in the VR headset, and you start to struggle and get so caught up in the story of your VR headset that you completely forget it. That's what this is, this whole being a human thing. It's like... but it's incredible. It's so fucking impressive. And it's okay when it feels like absolute shit and you're like, I hate this. That's authentic. That's part of the VR game, right? It's the character being like, I don't like this. It's authentic. It's okay. It's part of this. But I just wanted to share that perspective of like how impressive it is. And again, it doesn't always feel impressive, right? So that's why I start with the, like, it's okay, it's compassionate, and hopefully by the time you get to this bit of the video, it's not too triggering, or maybe it shifts, it lightens the energy a bit, but it's like, yeah, I think it's really quite a marvel how this is all possible, to be us and to suffer, to be human, and to be born and to live and to die, and it's fucking insane. Like, let's not beat around the bush. It's fucking insane. Yeah, let's maybe sit with that a bit. Just the fact that you can even be here and hear these words and experience the moment is it's completely inexplicable. Just being conscious, the simple fact of being conscious and aware and experiencing phenomena, whatever it might be, pain and heartache and overwhelm. The fact that that's even possible is insane, and the fact that doesn't negate the fact of what you're going through, but yeah, just the fact that words can come out of my mouth. Where are they coming from? I don't know. Truly, like, I really don't know where these words come from. Now, you can do that with a single thought. You can sit and explore the experience of a single thought and be like, where the fuck does that come from? Like, literally, where does a thought arise from? In the moment that you notice you're having a thought, like, where did that come from? And where does the noticing of a thought come from? We just don't explore these things until we do. And when you do, you're like, what the fuck? Like, truly, what the fuck? And there's just an endless mystery to explore. There's an endless mystery in every single thought. There's just endless mystery. Endless mystery. That's all there is endless mystery. And then you don't need to control the mystery. And the feeling like you can control the mystery is part of it. So, yeah. It's a wild ride. And And it's beautiful and it's painful. And it's all part of it. And they're the same thing, the beauty and the pain. It's not there's the beauty and then there's the pain. You need more of the beauty and less of the pain. It's all... All right, I'm going to leave it there. Much love.